Good morning, Ramdino on the Camino community. Day 15. I am coming out of León. Don't quite know what my destination is for today. And that's okay. I am going to take a different route today than what the main Camino is. Let me show you León. So this is León. It has all the trappings of a major city. I stayed in the old part of town, you know, that built around a cathedral, dates back to the centuries ago. Probably the cathedral's built around the 12th century. But once you get away from the old town, things get really busy and ugly. So I'm working my way out. Got to go through this part of town. Got to go through the industrial part of town. Stayed in a really nice place last night. Decided to spring. I mean, it wasn't a Marriott or a Hilton, but very nice, particularly for the old town. I'll get back to you in a minute. So I tried to go to the Parador, where it was featured in The Way, where Martin Sheen and company went. It was booked, so I just found this other place. Actually, what I did is I went online to the different Camino Facebook groups I'm a member of and posed the question: I'm gonna be in León tomorrow, what would be a good place to stay? And so sort of based it on, somebody suggested this. It was close to the cathedral, which is where I wanted to be because I didn't want to do a lot of walking to get there. And the price was 54 euros. I mean, I could have sprung for 100 euros and been right there outside right there overlooking the cathedral, but I didn't see a point in that since I was going to go look at it anyway. So did that, had a nice private bath, big old tub. I went into a pharmacia, got me some Epsom salts and took me an Epsom salt bath. Boy, did that feel good. And then this morning, for the first time on this trip, I got up and took a shower in the morning. Usually shower when I get in from the hike and get situated in the albergue and take a shower before I do the rest of my chores. And somebody had told me you need to take a shower. You get a motel or something like that, you need to take a shower, private room in the morning. So it was worth it. Now, got up a little later as well. So typically we're out the door by 6. This time it was about 7:05, but I'm gonna live a life of luxury in a 54 euro hotel. By golly, I'm gonna take advantage of it. So I did. And I've seen a bunch of other Pellegrinos, so I'm not the only one. All right, let me go ahead and get out of town so y'all can see something worth seeing. Well, this is interesting. They've got a whole staircase just for us to get over a river or something here, and it is closed off. So now what the heck do you do? All right, I'll follow these signs. You notice there's a lot of traffic, but there's a complete absence of car horns honking here. So they stop for pedestrians in these crosswalks. If it doesn't have a light at it, they gotta stop. Some of them have a light with a timer on, but traffic just stops. No beeping of horns, none of that. They just stop when you get up to it. So it's pretty freaking amazing. Nobody raises Cain about it either. All right, here's the new ramp. I don't know why they got that old ramp, I mean that new ramp coming in, but looks like I am getting out of town and have not had anything for breakfast. I'll stop at the first place. Need to get me an apple and a banana for the road. Do have a couple boiled eggs that I typically keep one with me, and I'll probably stop up here in a minute, grab one of them suckers, get me some protein in the morning. All right, I found the place to the scenic route, I was hoping it'd be the dirt path. The other route is right along the highway, the major highway, and it's a straight shot. This kind of meanders, I think. It's only like an extra mile for the day, but I didn't know it was going to be actually on the road walk. I thought it would be when they meant scenic route, it was going to be on a path through the woods or whatever, but sure it's better than the other way, up the interstate. Friend of mine that I was hiking with, we parted ways there in León, because she's got to go, I don't know, she had some place she's trying to get to, and she stayed at a different hotel, and so we are, and so I'm taking the longer route, and she's got someplace she wants to be, and we don't really hike together that much anyway. We wind up at the same spot, maybe hike in the morning, but we don't, other than that, we don't see each other during the day too much. So she'll probably get on ahead of me and finish, depending on Millie or not. Obviously, if Millie comes, she will. So, had a talk with Millie last night. Millie has not trained at all. So, I knew I'd have to slow down when she got here, but I thought she was going to be doing some training and testing to see, what her capabilities were, and not just show up and start walking. And her idea is, well, if I can't do it, then I'll just get a cab. Well, taxis are not, this is a foreign country where a lot of people in these small towns, and that's what you're going through most of the time, is a small town, don't speak English. And putting my daughter in a cab, there's no Uber. So putting her just in a random cab doesn't really sit real well with me. And then also, there's not a cab waiting there at a corner somewhere. You got to make arrangements, and then that may take hours for them to get there. Meanwhile, I'm stuck hours waiting on the cab to get to her, and she can't stay at an albergue because they throw you off the property at 8 a.m. in the morning. They got to get ready for the next crew coming in, and so you can't stay. You got to be out of there no later than 8. So that's not an option. And while I haven't felt my safety, haven't felt anything unsafe or anything sketchy, still a foreign country, and I'm just not going to plop my daughter down somewhere and hope for the best. And I had thought that she was going to do some training as soon as she got her pack, and that just hasn't happened. So at this point, we had a conversation. Not sure if she's coming. That will be a disappointment, because obviously I want to walk the Camino with my daughter, and I'm willing to slow down, but I can't slow down from 23 miles an hour. 23 miles a day to 10. And I can't leave her behind. And even if I could slow down to that, I'm just concerned that she can't make it. Millie is not what I would call she's not, she don't have any major physical issues, but she's not what I call a stout person, and she's not what I call somebody that has a lot of endurance. So that is my concern, and particularly since she hasn't trained, she doesn't know her capabilities, period. And I certainly don't know her capabilities. So anyway, we'll see if she shows up. Love to hike the Camino with her, but don't know if she can do the 100 clicks into Santiago in And also that presents, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. All right, this is what I meant I wanted to see in the scenic route. Exactly. This reminds me of a lot of what I've already hiked through. This is so much better than a buzzing interstate. Although I feel like I'm heading due south and looking where the sun is, I think I am. I wasn't expecting due south. It only says it's only an extra like kilometer for the day, but if I'm heading due south, I got to take a right somewhere and head back west. Anyway, back to what I was talking about, the problem that presents. So I got to get a flight home, right? And of course, the closer you book to the day you want to leave, one, the less likely you can get a seat. Two, more expensive it is. So that presents a problem, not knowing what she's going to do. And I guess in retrospect, we should have thought about it a whole lot more and had a whole lot more discussions. But she was still at school, or not school, she's still in Lynchburg and in the process of moving, and she got home and moved. And I was in the process of trying to get stuff wrapped up at work before I got out here, and all that other garbage that you wind up with in the matrix. So yeah, I'm going to be simplifying my life when I get back. That's for dang sure. But we'll see what happens over the next couple days. So I still got, figure, let's just say she doesn't show up. I think I can do that to last 100 clicks in, well, I know I can, in four days. Really maybe 3.5. And then I got 6 days of Saria, so that's somewhere around 10 days I got left. But I need to go ahead and get those. Need to go ahead and get that squared away with my flights, because not only that, I've got to figure out, am I going through Portugal, which a lot of people have said go through there. Problem is, not a train that goes there. You got to take a bus. I looked up the bus reviews. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they break. A lot of times they break down. Sometimes the bus driver will just stop at a bar, like a drinking bar, for hours. So not real sure about that. The trains are very dependable here. I could take the train to Madrid, and be honest with you, I'll pay more money to have something that I know I'm going to be able to make my flight, know I'm going to get where I'm going, because I'll have to make some type of accommodations. Probably in Santiago, spend the night, get up and take an early train, and then get to Madrid and take a flight whenever they got them. But I'll have to make those arrangements beforehand. So that's kind of the dilemma. Anyway, today I'm not going to worry about it. I usually, the way I do my planning is I wait till I get to lunch, let's say, and take off my shoes, rest my feet, put on my miracle cream, and just look at the book and kind of plan from there based upon where I've gotten right then. So, you know, I started an hour late today, so we'll see how far I intend to go. And a lot of that has to do with whether or not albergue is going to be available. You ever heard people say, well, it's a social trail, you're never going to be by yourself? Yeah, I'm just, this crowd, I can't even hear myself think in this big crowd. So this is the bypass, not a bypass, it's just an alternate route rather than walk alongside a major highway. It takes you through they consider the scenic route. I will say this, that even when I'm walking the normal route and there's a bunch of folks, you know, you all hike at a different rate, so you're still by yourself most of the time. Well, that's where I found myself anyway. Those things on the side, that's what they use for irrigation. Some of them are still used, some of them not so much, but a lot of them are still used. And I can hear water running in that one. So I'm not sure how that comes out of that trough and into the field, but somehow they make that work, get it out. I haven't seen, like little portals or anything, but walk over here and take a look at it. Yeah, see, it's still flowing, it's full. And then they got those little gates there that they open, and then that runs out. And then they got those little gates, and then that runs out. Now how that gets all out in the field, I have no idea, but yep, there you go. So that is still in operation. It looks to be 100 years old. I don't know how old it is, but and they pipe. I mean, it's probably got a 1 millimeter fall to it per foot, if that. Pretty dang interesting to see those. They still use the old ways, and the old ways still work. See, there's another one out there. You can see it lining it. Okay, so they got to get around a field entrance. So you see right here, it's coming down, coming in. It goes here underground over to that one over there. So my assumption is water seeks its own level. It goes up underneath that, and just like you put a kink in a hose pipe that you just let water flow freely through, it doesn't have pressure on it, it's still going to come out. Yep. So it's just head pressure just driving that. There's another gate that gets that guy's fields. And look, it runs for a long ways. So it's made out of concrete, so it's not, I mean, it ain't 10th century, but probably is, I don't know, what do you think, 50, 75 years old? And even this stagnant water's pretty clear here. I wouldn't drink it, but even that's pretty clear, and it's probably coming out of leakage coming out of that thing. Yeah, see right there's leak, so it's not 100% efficient. I have seen where they've tried to plug it ever so often with some foam. Pretty dang interesting. All right, I figured it out. So when they want to irrigate the fields, they'll come and put this material on it that's got undoubtedly got holes in it, and they'll open a gate after they put it on that, and then that goes and irrigates the field. So you see how green that one is, and that one's not, but it's got little things on the side. See that water bubbling out? So that's how they irrigate the fields. And see, this thing is still getting it. Still getting it. That's pretty neat. It looks like they dam it up here to create head pressure to get it to fill that sucker up. Now let me see if I can get across this thing. These had gates in them at one time. It looks like they used to use this thing as some type of irrigation. I don't know. But anyway, that's how they do it in Spain. To Santiago, but I'm under 300K. Of course, this I guess makes it official now that I moved on this side of it. Still, I'm looking at my Wise Pilgrim app, and it says I'm under 300K. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. And last time I saw it, it said 301, and that was hours ago. So if I'm doing 3 clicks an hour, is that right? No, 6 clicks an hour. So I don't know how accurate that is, but anyway, nice to see it. Well, this is the longest 12th century bridge I've seen. We're getting ready to walk on it. Chance says this is a bridge that inspired Don Quixote. Don't know about that. Oh, I'm gonna take a picture of this church over here. This is a river. I guess the whole thing is built here just for a floodplain. That's protecting the buildings there, but the whole bridge, I guess, I don't know, maybe the river was changed where it went, but these cobblestones hurt. And I had found all new hurts today. I think I went about 23, 24. I'll figure that out later and let you know. I'll throw up here what I walked today when I get to the albergue and get it figured out. Speaking of pooped, not to be TMI, but I ate like a block of cheese for lunch and it just did not agree with me. And I don't know if I had some bad water or what, but anyway, hear that? Yep, and I'm the tallest thing out here. Well, we do have a bunch of this irrigation that's taller than me, and it's metal. Maybe if it'll rain or hold off for another 30 minutes, I'll be there. But it's starting to pepper down on me now, so let me see if I can get a few more, another mile an hour out of these tired old souls. And we'll chat with you later. If not, this will be it for the day. And I will wish all of you a buen camino. Throughout this region, it seems that there is a ton of storks in this area, more so than in other stages. And I was wondering, why did they leave those nests up there? They could weigh a couple hundred pounds. They could be a maintenance issue, and it's because the stork is protected there. It's known as a sign of good luck, and it is protected, and you can have major fines if you mess with a stork nest or stork or in any way impede its migration. So they love the stork there. And these bridges with their arches that are centuries old, a lot of them built by the Romans, they so intrigue me. They're just made out of rock. So it was really neat to see those and walk across those throughout the course. A meal I wanted to share with you was ensalada mixta, which I ate a lot of those. One, it's easy to order, and two, I love getting my veggies at the end of the day. Of course, it's a mixed salad is what that stands for, and they were really good to have at the end of the day when you just weren't wanting a full meal because you were just so tired. Folks, that's it. I'll see you on day 16 coming up.